Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games, the week in games. It's been an exciting week, I gotta tell you. I just got back from Game On Con and am excited as always to have been involved with some great board gaming venues and opponents and great food folks and fun. But more on that later. Now let's get into the news. Okay, in news, we have some pretty big news. Asmodee is a name that board gamers will become familiar with over time, as they have been kind of the Amazon scoop up and assimilate kind of philosophy lately over the last few years, and have now picked up Lookout Games, which is a group of games from like Uwe Rosenberg and some of the more popular Agricola, that kind of line. And what does that mean? Well, anytime a big company scoops up another company, there's usually trepidation, but it remains to be seen what impact that has. We'll just have to find out over time. There are lots of other companies, but it is interesting to see one particular group growing and growing and growing and subsuming many of the name brand titled board games we've come to know. That's about it for the news, other than personally, there's a review of Spirit Island coming up in the next couple weeks from me. That's one thing I'll be doing. I am starting a new occupation. That will be exciting this week, though I do commit to continuing to doing my week in games. The reviews themselves will come as they come, but anytime you start a new job, obviously, it's like, gotta learn a job. So, on that, let's get to the question of the week. All right, this is a cheater question because I'm asking this of myself. I'm saying, Tim, if you could talk about anything in this week's episode, what would it be? Technically, that's a question. I'm going to talk about Game On highlights, so bear with me because have you ever had that phenomenon where anytime you go to some place or some big venue or some exciting activity or event, you come back with sort of this kind of fire, this fervor, like, yeah, I just got back from the football game we won, yay! We rock, or I just got back from a men's retreat, yay, we're great, or I just got back from a marriage retreat, yay, I suck. Well, I just got back from my board gaming convention called Game On, which is my absolute favorite board game convention of all of them. Now, I haven't been to a bunch of them globally, but I have been to a lot of local ones. None of them hold a candle, in my mind, to the joy and just the absolute satisfaction I get from Game On. Why? Because Game On marries two great things, which is board gaming in a nice, really well cared for hotel conference room with great people from all over the place who really are just there to enjoy the joy of board gaming. And with that, over the years, I have collected, gotta catch them all, as many friends and relationships with gamers around the whole area and around the whole country. Some even coming from other countries, like what's that one far away in Canada, and England, although I don't think we had anybody from England here, but it is a wonderful time. It is the model by which I think many board game conventions could be run greatly. Now, there's a lot, there's ones that I run for my church camp. There's big ones that are run in big centers in like Bellevue, Washington, and big conventions, and those have their place. But nothing just gives the satisfaction and quality of just a group of people in a little hotel, conference room, a couple hundred people just going, hey, let's play games and have fun with some of the best talent and run by some of the best, most kind-hearted people. So anytime you get a chance to go to a gaming conference, look around for some local types. They're growing. I just looked at the calendar, and there's literally game conferences every couple of weeks all the way through this year at different places. It's growing. It's a big growing portion of entertainment. People are liking it. They're grooving on it. We are in a Cambrian explosion of board gaming right now. So that's my question answer of the week. Now we're going to do a special segment and talk about what was my highlight of Game On Con. Okay, when Game On was announced, as far as the retinue of people who are going to be there, sponsors and board gaming slots, there's tables, you sign up for stuff. One of the games caught my interest in a way that I took one look at the name of the game and I said, I'm going to make sure that whatever I play, whenever this game is in session, I'm as far away from it as possible. I don't even want to don't even want to grapple with this thing. I just don't want to deal with it. Now that sounds odd because I just said it was the greatest Skyrim game. That doesn't mean it's bad or was bad, but it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know what kind of people this game is going to attract. I have no idea, but whatever it is, I am going to be far away. I don't even want to deal with it. So sure enough, and I did, and honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like, no, it's like, there's 10,000 board games here. I'll go play a different one. So Friday, Saturday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday came around, and I walked in, and it was a surprise. It was kind of a quiet little kind of like, and it was like, and the game was set up in the middle of the table, and one of my friends was like, "You gotta check this game out, man. This game is, you would really like it." I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. In other words, no. But somehow, some way, I ended up being around there, and it was almost empty, so it was like nobody around. And somehow, some way, I'm like, you know what, I will go ahead and give it a try, with the caveat that if my kids need me to pick them up, because that was a possibility, then I'm going to have to go. And the designer of the game was there. This is a prototype game. And he said, I'll fill in if you need it, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I will go ahead and do this for you. And here, the kicker is, the name of the game was MAGA, the first year of the Trump presidency. Now, people that know me know that I have a academic interest in politics. I have no passion interest in politics per se. By that I mean that I grew up with my parents sitting around a TV yelling at it all the time, in the news, in the talk shows, in the chatty talking heads. I'm like, I don't need this. I just want to go out and play. I don't need it. Like, I am so far removed from relevancy to these people in their political games. Don't want to do it. I still care about it. It still has a big impact. Don't get me wrong, I'm not anti-politics. I just don't get absorbed into the tension and the stress that was just always exuding in my house because of this. And so when that game title came out and the description came out, I was like, no way, I don't want to be anywhere near it. I don't know who's going to play it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear to the Trump advocates, the Trump haters, all that. Didn't need it. So let me say that I had no interest at all in this game. And yet, when I sat down and after I played through it, I realized that this particular designer, his name is Thomas Prowl, had done the impossible. He had created a game based on the first year of the Trump presidency that was absolutely outstanding in every way as a game about the first year of the Trump presidency. This boggles my mind. Even in its prototype stage, it had done a miraculous job of creating a game, 4 players, 4 different factions, all dealing with the year of the Trump presidency. It was able to do it without devolving into a Trump hate, Trump love, acerbic, nasty kind of affair. He was able to pull it off. You literally play this game for the sake of the game. The thing is, the ticker here is, it's not about Trump more than it's about the first year of the Trump presidency. So it strips away all of the dramatic emotions that he could have thrown into the game and said, hey, you know, here's the Trump as the Messiah deck, and here's the Trump as the Antichrist deck. Admittedly, I know his inclinations, or he's expressed them subtly, so I know that there is a little bit of snark in the manual. He's made that clear, which we didn't read the rulebook or whatever, but the game itself is absolutely top-notch, as good of a game in my mind, even in its stage as Churchill, as I'm gonna say it really steps up to the plate in a Twilight Struggle kind of way, which, if you know, is my favorite game of all time. And it just did a job so well, even in this stage, of creating a game about recreating the events of the first year of the Trump presidency. The 4 different factions, per se, are vying for political influence, as any political game would do, and he was able to do that in a way that didn't make fun of or adore and deify any particular person. And that is a miracle in my mind. So he hasn't been able to get any particular distributor to agree to pick it up yet. Not a big surprise there, given the topic. But it is going to be kickstarted, and I can guarantee you I'm going to be one of the first people to pick it up. And so anyone who's interested in kind of just setting aside like a ton, there is emotion to it. Matter of fact, I had a diehard Republican to my right. I had a moderate Republican in the middle. I had, we played it with a young teenager, like middle schooler heading into high school girl, and she was able to understand and play it without getting, it was, so believe me, this game is playable and really good. So I'm almost giving a kind of a advertisement here. I feel a little bit bad about that, except that it's not even ready to play yet, but already it impressed me so much with what this particular designer was able to do to really capture in an entertaining way the first year of the Trump presidency in something that could appeal to just about anybody. And if you'll obviously, I know which side I want to pick. It was the side I played. But it was able to do it in a great way. So someday, somewhere on the horizon, a game's going to come up on Kickstarter or elsewhere called Mega, the first year of the Trump presidency. If you have a chance to see it, don't reject it the way I did immediately, because it really is the real deal as far as being a fair and as neutral as possible, like spyglass into last year. So with that is my highlight of Game On Con. It took me totally by surprise. With that, let's get to our 3 games of the week. Okay, first game I picked up at the conference, because I'm just that kind of guy, is Ethnos. Been looking for this for a while. It is a simple area control game. Supposed to be good with 2, 3, or 4 players. Got some special powers. You use the cards in your hand, and then you blow them all away and say, I'm going to take over this area, that area. Doesn't look like it's a real mind bender, especially after I've been playing Spirit Island relentlessly. But definitely worth it. And speaking of Spirit Island, second game, the expansion pack, Branch and Claw, comes with a bunch of new details, monsters and all that stuff. If you don't know about Spirit Island, that's probably because you haven't read my review yet or watched my review. And if you haven't watched my review yet, it's probably because I haven't made it yet. But when I do, you'll probably see a little snippet of that here. And finally, a game that I got for free, and I am not endorsing or not endorsing this game. The Dingo Ate My Baby. I refreshed my mind on the story about this, and it practically makes me cry. There are no winners in the real world story of this. And so I remain... I don't know. Alright, and with that, here's our pick of the week. Will you be the first one in the entire history of civilization to actually post in the comments what game you think this is? Or will you stand by like a bystander like the rest of us? Who knows? Anyway, that's it for this week. Have a great week, and we will see you next time on Harebrained Games.